Hi guys, this is Akshita and this is 100%. Okay. Take 3. Hi guys, this is Akshita and I am back with another video. And this video is special because it is 100% a film recommendation video. This is not just another Bollywood film or another Hindi film, but rather this is a Maharashtrian film. This is a Marathi film that I recently came across and I watched and I absolutely loved.
धुमकिट धुमकिट तदानि धुमकिट नटना गरनट धिमनट पर्वत उभा उत्तुंग नभा घुमतो मृदुंग पखवाज देता आवाज जनन झंकार लेऊनी स्त्री रूप बुलवी नटरंग नटरंग नटरंग.
So basically I was given an assignment in college for which we had to make a 5-minute video essay on any regional Indian film, and that is when I came across this film. While my research, I realized that some of the very famous Maharashtrian songs like Apsara Ali or Vajle Ki Bara or Khel Mandla belong to this film.
मला जाऊ द्या न घरी वाजले की बारा मला जाऊ द्या न घरी वाजले की बारा कोमल काया की मोह माया पुनव चांदन नाले.
Apart from this, the other thing that fascinated me the most to watch this film and to choose this film for my assignment was Atul Kulkarni. The Atul Kulkarni. Why I chose to watch this film was because primarily the film deals with the overarching theme of theatre. And not just any theatre but traditional Marathi theatre, which is basically Tamasha. So the protagonist of the story is this farmer, Guna, which is played by Atul Kulkarni. The fascinating thing about this farmer is that he is a wrestler, so he's properly well built and he's very respected and he has a very high status in the society, even though he's poor. The reason being his way of presenting himself. He's a very charming person. The way the film opens and then you see the first song and Guna walks in. People are just fascinated, including his wife. She's just so happy to be with a man like him.
हाती हुन्नर डोसक्या मंदी झिंग डोसक्या मंदी झिंग.
And that's when we are introduced to the theme of theatre, because Guna is someone who is very fascinated about theatre. So he gets this peshki of 12 rupees, out of which he spends all of it only to go and buy tickets for the theatre. And that's where the first song Vajle Ki Bara comes in.
मला जाऊ द्या न घरी वाजले की बारा मला जाऊ द्या न घरी वाजले की बारा.
Guna is not just fascinated by the performance but also by every little aspect of theatre. So you actually see, there are frames in the film where you actually see that he's looking around, he's turning his head the moment there's a harmonium playing or the tabla playing. He looks around in that direction and he's very fascinated by the entire process of it, right? It was also made very clear in the film that his family is not happy with his appreciation of theatre or his interest towards theatre, even if it is simply watching it, because even that takes up a lot of their money, right? He's the only earning member in the family and he spends most of his money only to watch theatre. The owner of the fields where Guna works decides one day to bring a new motorized system, due to which Guna and a lot of his fellow mates lose their job. Naturally, because they don't have work, they have to figure out a way to sustain themselves, and that is where Guna comes up with the system that they could actually form a theatre group of their own, because it includes a lot of money, and he believes that everybody has some or the other talent. So somebody could play the tabla or the harmonium, somebody could sing, somebody could dance, and then they could together form a theatre group.
कुणी गातोय कुणी वाजवतोय कुणी चांगला नकला करतोय. पावसाचं 4 महिने काम झालं की 7-8 महिने करूया की तमाशा.
What is fascinating now is Guna's extreme desire, maybe even an obsession, to play a king on stage. So it really caught my attention that a farmer who does not even have the means by which he can survive really, firstly carries himself even in his normal life as a king, as somebody who's very proud and bold and everything. And secondly, the way he wants to look at himself on a higher pedestal. He can't become that person in real life, and theatre would give him that stage where he can present himself as somebody who he aspires to be. Somebody, he can fulfill his dream of becoming a king through the stage. So eventually the story progresses, and Guna comes across this person who tells him that you actually need a female dancer to attract the audience to come and watch your theatre.
अरे बाई म्हणजेच तमाशा आणि तमाशा म्हणजेच बाई.
But mostly women are not interested to be a part of the group, because primarily theatre is something that is always looked down upon. There comes a point in the film where one of his friends actually finds a girl who is perfect for the role, but the girl decides to come only on the condition that there has to be a male dancer in the team as well. Now the thing is, the male dancer is not just any male dancer, it has to be a queer character who will attract the audience, who is the only unique factor in their play, because they are in need of a female dancer. They agree to this condition, and days pass by and they do not end up finding a person who would be willing to play a male character. Finally, Guna's friend, which is played by Kishore Kadam, he goes and proposes to Guna that why don't you play the character of the Nachya, the male dancer. And Guna naturally disagrees, because he's like, how am I supposed to play the female character? I am a wrestler, I don't dance. And that's when he convinces, Kishore Kadam convinces him and says ki you are good looking, you are the only person who knows the art form and who truly respects the art form, and the only person who is smart enough to adapt to the expressions of a woman. And after a lot of convincing, Guna finally decides to play the female character. What is the brilliance of the film of Atul Kulkarni, of Ravi Jadhav, is the physical transformation of Guna. I cannot tell you how amazing that is, because Guna, a wrestler, a proper muscular, well-built man who finds pride in his masculinity, totally changes himself to become this lean, very delicate sort of a person. He, like, you actually see the transition, you see him learning dance steps, you see him perform, and it is so fascinating to watch. I feel that is the highlight of the film. Naturally, in his first performance, his family is not happy with the way he is or the way he performs, and they look down upon him. Due to the societal pressure and due to a lot of factors, everybody around him convinces him against this, but it is only his soul love for theatre that keeps him going, that he decides, despite everything else, he's going to play this character and he's going to establish his own theatre group. They get a little success, they get call shows from outside. It comes to a point where Guna becomes very famous, and it is only his portrayal of a queer character that attracts the audience. But this factor is an insult to his family. The other main conflict of Guna's character begins, where he is desperate to tell the world the difference of the character he is in real life and the character that he is playing on stage. So there comes a point in Mahabharata where the Pandavas have to hide in the kingdom of King Virat, and Arjun has to hide as Brinhalla, who is a male dancer again and teacher of women. So that's how the story progresses, and that is what Guna is obsessed with, that now he has to create this difference. He wants to tell the audience that there is a difference between the character that I am playing and the character that I am in real life. Now there is also a political conflict in the film that happens between two sort of political parties. The day the play Arjun Brinhalla is staged, the audience does not want to see Guna playing a normal male character. The attraction of their entire play is Guna, who is playing the character for Nachya. So until and unless he actually plays that, the audience is not interested to watch him in any other form. That is when the opposition party, they wreak havoc in the entire stage. They burn his theatre down and kidnap and molest Guna. After this, having lost everything, having lost his team, his troupe, his theatre, everything that he had built up over time, Guna finally goes back to his village only to find that his wife and son do no longer live there. He goes to his wife's village and the wife's father does not allow him to enter. The wife mocks him in front of everybody. His son disowns him, leaving Guna completely alone. After having lost everything, Guna naturally does not have anything to fall back on. He summons his entire team. Most of his people by then are scared and they want to leave this entire theatre business. They want to go back to their own lifestyle and they feel that theatre is not something for them. It is then that Guna says, "This thing has given me everything that I've had, and this is the only thing which has taken everything from me. So now I stand at a point where I have lost everything, and the only thing that took all of that from me is the only thing that will in future provide everything for my survival." And he decides to leave, and with him comes the love of his life, the female dancer, who now agrees to be with him, and together the two of them they form their own theatre group and they do a number of plays. And now, even though Guna continues to play the character of Nachya, he's not stereotypically categorized as that. Like, the audience also allows him to play different characters now. In the end, we see Guna walking up the stage and finally he's getting a huge round of applause. It is a great, massive award function and he's getting a Lifetime Achievement Award for his contribution to theatre. Okay, so one thing from the film that really stayed with me was when Guna points out and he says that there is, this is when he was writing the play of Arjun Brinhalla, where he says that every man has a feminine side to him and every woman has a masculine side to her. And, you know, it's often looked down upon if the proportion of that becomes a little upar niche. So that is the title itself, Natarang. To me sounds very similar to Nataraj, who is the god of dance, who is another name for the cosmic dancer Shiva. And that is why it really fascinated me. So another thing that really now fascinates me is Shiva is also known as Ardhanarishwar, basically half man and half woman. And that's the thing that I said, that there is a masculine side to a woman and a feminine side to a man. And that is represented by Ardhanarishwar itself. And that is also represented in a way in Natarang. So yeah, I basically just simply wanted to share my feelings and my emotions after having watched the film, the reason why the film got my attention and it stayed with me even after 2-3 days, and the reason why I want to make this video despite making this 5-minute video essay on the film. So there's something really fascinating about the film, and I really recommend anybody who is interested in theatre, who is interested in art, to watch this film, because it is something that will definitely capture your attention. It is something that will definitely stay with you. The performances are phenomenal, the music is amazing, the direction is very good, because even though the film deals with a lot of conflicts, it is not confusing. There's no point in the film where you will actually lose interest, and particularly for me, because I don't know Marathi, so for me subtitles was the only way of understanding what was happening in the film, and yet not for one point did I feel bored, did I feel like I shouldn't have chosen this film. Yeah, I feel that's it for this video. So if you end up watching the film, do let me know in the comments, I guess. Do let me know. Well, I'll be making more such recommendations and reviews of the films that I've seen and stuff. So do stay tuned. Okay, bye.